Welcome once again. How you doing, Commander fans, guys and gals alike? Hail salute to the Washington Commanders. Welcome once again to the Commanders Salute, another episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys that have already been watching, and those for you that are new, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, put it down in the comment section, or anything you'd like to say or share, put it down in the comment section. Love to see what you have to say. Much love to you, and thank you for joining once again. All right, the NFL draft is coming. NFL draft is coming in about another week and a half. And the Washington Commanders, we have 6 picks in the draft. Round 1, they picked number 11. Round 2, they were picking at number 47, but they had the Carson Wentz trade with the Colts. So they'll go back a little and they'll pick at number 47 in the second round. The 4th round, they'll be picking at 113. The 6th round, 189. 7th round, they'll pick at number 230 and 240 to round out the draft for the Commanders. The NFL draft, of course, takes place April 28th through the 30th. It'll be held in Cleveland, Ohio. It's on a Thursday night. Start at 7:30 p.m. Rounds 1, the first night. Second night, rounds 2 and 3. And then on the 30th, the NFL draft will conclude with rounds 4 through 7. So, we're going to take an extensive look at the first pick of the first round for the Washington Commanders at number 11. And that there's 3 players that I want to take a look at. And one of them is an offensive lineman. And for an offensive lineman to go in the first round, that's a very, very big deal. That's very, very vital. Because in the game of football, we know that football is a game of inches, but the game is won in the trenches on the line. So on the offensive line or the defensive line is where a game is mostly dominated. So if you can pick players, top quality players on the offensive line or defensive line, then you've got a home run hitter. So I want to take a look at Evan Neal. He's 6'7". He's over 300 pounds. Offensive tackle out of the University of Alabama. He had 39 starts in 3 years. And this guy is special, because what's special about him is in his three years and his 39 starts at offensive tackle, he only gave up 3 sacks. And this guy has played in multiple positions. 2019, Evan Neal, he played left guard. He played about 666 snaps. That's about 13 starts, I believe, his freshman year. 2020, he played at right tackle, right guard, and left tackle. Mostly at right tackle. He had 546 snaps in 2020. And in 2021, he moved over to left tackle, in which he played 835 snaps. That is very impressive. This guy is interchangeable. So basically, he's not a one-trick pony. You can move him anywhere on the line, and he can play. He's a great pass blocker. He comes from a winning program in Tuscaloosa. Neal, he would make an immediate impact on Washington's offensive front. Now, this pick in the draft would be a step in the right direction, as the Commanders are seeking to build a championship organization. So if you want to build a championship organization, you want to start with the foundation. The foundation is either on the offensive line, the defensive line, but particularly we're looking at the offensive line. So selecting Evan Neal would definitely be the guy. And there are a few teams ahead of the Commanders that would most likely select him, unless he shockingly slides down to the 11th pick. And if he slides down to the 11th pick, I say they have to get this guy. He would add much needed protection for quarterback Carson Wentz if selected. And like I said, Neal, he can play both the left tackle and right tackle. And he's played against the best teams in college football. So this guy is pro ready. He's ready to come into the pros and start. And I watched highlights of him on YouTube. And this guy was eating up tackles. He has he's tall. He's 6'7". He's over 300 pounds. He has very huge hands, and this guy is smart. He processes what he does once that ball snaps. And I saw one particular play where he was double teaming a block with his teammate. They were blocking a defensive lineman, and there was a linebacker trying to slide in on the inside and make the play on the run. And Neal broke off the double team tackle, clinched on to this linebacker, and wrapped him the other way. Now, this guy is smart. He went against the defensive lineman on one particular play. The guy was probably like 4 inches shorter, 6'3", because Neal's 6'7", like I said. So he gets underneath this guy and drives him 4 yards off the line of scrimmage back the opposite way. And as far as a pass blocking, he's excellent in the pass blocking game. And not bad on the run blocking game either. So this is a guy I definitely would want protecting my quarterback on the line. This is somebody that I would trust. He only gave up 3 sacks in 3 years. And that's over 39 starts. That's remarkable. So this guy is big, he's strong, he's fast, and he will pancake you. So Evan Neal would be a great pick for Washington at number 11. Okay. And now we know that Washington have needs at the safety position. They're going to have to shore that up, and they possibly might need another linebacker, like a middle linebacker, and a defensive tackle because they lost Tim Settle and Matt Ioannidis to free agency. So those would be other options to look at. I want to look at 2 wide receivers, 2 of the best wide receivers, I think, coming out in the draft. Out of Penn State, Jahan Dotson. He's kind of like a Garrett Wilson type. They kind of remind me of each other because they're both they're not very tall receivers, but they're fast and they have playmaking abilities. Dotson, he's a well-rounded 3-level wideout that has top-notch ability to catch on the go. Great agility as well. Added to his skills, he's a dual-threat punt returner and a playmaker. He can also throw the ball. I see him throw the ball in the trick play and complete it. So this guy is a do-it-all. He's a mop-up dude, mop-up, clean-up guy. He can do it all. So Dotson would be a stud pick for the Commanders. This would definitely add firepower to their wide receiving core. And Dotson has the speed. He has the gear to change speeds on a dime, on a single route, catch the rock, and score. And one thing that I noticed about him, I was watching the YouTube highlights of Jahan Dotson. One thing that I noticed that he was always open. No matter what kind of route, whether he was running a slant route or if he was in a slot and he was doing a fly pattern straight up the field, the guy was always open. And what caught my eye was his ability to jump and get the ball, and he has great hands. And he caught they had a lot of instances in the highlights where they were showing the quarterback throwing the ball deep, but they were like difficult passes, and this guy would go up and come down with it anyway, whether he was covered or not. So he has great hands, an uncanny ability to catch difficult passes. He can jump, and he's a home run threat from anywhere in the field. Now, that would be a stud pick. Another stud pick. This guy is greatly considered to be the best wideout coming out in this year's draft class out of Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. And he would make the perfect complement to touchdown Terry McLaurin. Now, Wilson is the ideal deep threat that would be a dangerous weapon to play with Wentz because, you know, Wentz knows how to get the ball up the field. He's a strong-armed quarterback. He can throw it deep, and he can spot receivers at a drop of a dime. And Garrett Wilson has the uncanny ability to break free with his athleticism. He's very athletic. He's not a tall, lanky receiver, but his athleticism makes him superior, and it allows him to extend plays on the field, catch the rock, and be gone. And that's basically what he does really well. So I would look forward to them selecting him. But Wilson's speed and acceleration, this is what makes him a top-notch pick. And so he's also great at creating separation, and adjusting his speed running routes. He's a great route runner. So that's what you want in your team. You want a wideout that understands routes, that knows how to run routes, that knows how to get open, that knows how to catch the ball, that can extend plays with its athleticism. He can adjust his speed on a dime, take it to the house. He's a threat to score anywhere in the field. And when I saw this guy in highlights, and it was much like the other receiver out of Penn State, Dotson. Wilson, not he wasn't always open, but what I will say was he always had the uncanny ability to separate himself and make himself get open. And this is what makes great receivers from average receivers, because this guy could adjust his speed on the routes. He would find a way to get open, and when he was open, it was easy pickings. It was like taking candy from a baby. Easy. Catch the rock, boom. He's in the end zone. So I think Garrett Wilson would be the ultimate pick for them at number 11, because if they get this guy, and they already have Terry Lauren on one side of the field, and you have another speedy guy on the other side of the field, and if they're double teaming him, then guess who's going to be open? That's going to make them even more dangerous on offense, and they're going to score a lot of points. So I hope they get this guy. So if they don't get Neal, get Garrett Wilson. Okay. All right. So that's it. So they have the number 11 pick in the first round. And in 13 more days, the draft starts in about 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about it. Did a schedule last time, Washington Commanders. And I'm going to give you my predictions on the scores. They play Chicago. I say they're going to play Chicago. They're going to blank them 24-0. They play at Dallas. I think they'll get revenge from the game from last year, but I think it'll be a close game, a defensive battle. I say we'll win 17-13 in Dallas. Detroit 27-3 in a whitewash. Washington wins. At Houston, they blanked them 31-0. Atlanta, they crushed them 28-6. Cleveland will be another a little more tougher game. They got Deshaun Watson, so there may be a little competition in that game. But I say that they will upend Cleveland 23-13. Tennessee 22-10, favor Washington. Jacksonville, we will crush Jacksonville. They're in a rebuilding process, 38-7. Indianapolis, a game of interest. At the Indianapolis Colts, Washington traveled to Indianapolis. Carson Wentz's old team, they gave up on him last year. I think he's going to go down there, be fired up, get revenge, and Washington will win 25-10. At the Giants, the next two games, the Giants and the Eagles. We always struggle with division games. No matter how good a team we are or how bad the other divisional teams are, these games are always the toughest. I say they're going to go at the Giants, and it's going to be a defensive battle. And I say the Giants will win 13-10 by a field goal, but they'll have a rematch, so we'll get that back. They'll go to Philly. It'll be another defensive battle. We'll lose by a field goal, 16-13. It's always a close game with these division games usually. They play at Minnesota. They will beat them 42-13. At Dallas will come to town. They'll spank them 24-7. At San Francisco. Now, this is going to be hard to come by with points. I think it's going to be a defensive battle, but I believe that Washington will upend San Fran in their place 13-6. I predict the comeback game, the second game against the Eagles. Carson Wentz will be fired up. He'll get his revenge on his old team. They'll beat him 17-3. Against the Giants will come to town. We'll get revenge in that game, squeak by them 21-13. And it follows up with the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. I believe that they will get them back from last year, 27-14. Okay. Before I go, I have a trivia question. And thank you all once again for joining the Commander Salute. I am Freddie Football, your pigskin prophet, your host. And I have a trivia question for you that I will answer on the next segment. So, this is an easy one. What Washington coach in his first year His first 5 games started 0-5, but finished the year 8-8. They didn't go to the playoffs the first year, but the second year they went to the Super Bowl and won. What coach coached Washington during this era? I will bring that answer to you on the next segment. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining the Commander Salute. And we're going to take a look the next time. We're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the needs before the draft begins, the final needs of the Commanders and what they need this year to get over the hump, to get into the playoffs, and to possibly go beyond. And I'll be giving my opinion on what I think they should do, how they should shore up their defense, and what tweaks they can make in their offense. So I'll be taking a look at those things on the next segment. Thank you guys. Thank you guys and girls out there, Washington fans. Hail Commanders. Thank you once again. I am your host, Freddie Football. Y'all have a good one. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.